Hey everyone, how are you doing? It's been a while, but I'm back and hopefully I'm going to be focusing on making new content on the regular. Gonna hopefully be trying some different stuff out too. Anyway, I'm back from my break where I was away and recharging my art batteries, which have been dead since about 2015, and I'm finally reunited with my work PC. I also decided to invest in a new microphone, so hopefully that makes a notable difference. So I'll get on to talking about my work that you're seeing happening at the moment. I drew this piece, these pieces, the series I guess, before I left, so I think I actually drew them in October last year. I posted them on pretty much all my social media accounts, but I've never had time to edit and script the recording before I left. So here we are 4 or 5 months later. It's fine, we're getting it done at least, that's the main thing. So this is actually from a prompt list of 100 prompts. I've been working through them for a while, and when I say for a while I mean since about 2011, so 8 years, and I have made it to number 15. And the prompt for this was silence, just the word silence, so you're allowed to incorporate that in whatever way you so choose. Now, I thought that silence was a hard one to decide a concept for, because how do you visually portray a lack of sound? You could use a lot of whites or muted colours, maybe even lots of negative space in your composition, but it doesn't help with subject matter. So you can maybe, I thought about maybe drawing a tranquil scene, although that doesn't necessarily say to me silence. It just makes me think of something quiet. So I ended up going about it backwards, and I asked, how would you visually display sound? And I did think about looking at sonar and sound waves, but I didn't want that. It was a little too on the nose, so I thought it'd be nice to draw some instruments, because I can't remember the last time I ever drew instruments. It's not something I'd ever really draw. And I thought maybe they'd be broken, so they're no longer making any noise. But I wanted to portray the emotion associated, or that I would personally associate with each instrument. And I've always loved Victorian flower language, so I thought it'd be nice to incorporate flowers into each piece to represent said emotion. And the first piece, I wanted to draw an instrument from each of the families of instruments. So for brass, I drew the French horn, and to me brass instruments always have this kind of fanfare type of sound, and I decided to go for the orange tiger lily, as that represents victory, and I felt like the sort of sounds produced by a French horn are quite victorious. And then secondly, I chose for woodwind the flute. It's quite a sweet little simple instrument to draw. And for its flower, I chose the buttercup, which represents naivety and childhood. And a flute makes me think of forests and happy little pixies, which could link into naivety and childhood. Third up was the pink rose and the harp. The pink rose representing grace, and I suppose roses in general representing romance. The harp itself is quite a graceful sort of instrument. I felt those two went really nicely together. And the last of the four for percussion was the snare drum and wolfsbane. So wolfsbane represents... oh, what does it represent again? Is it Miss... I can't remember the word. Let me look it up for y'all. I have a note of it somewhere. Misanthropy, that's it. Sorry, I couldn't remember the word. Which, as far as I recall, has sort of antisocial connotations. And it made me think of, you know, sort of kind of reclusive, angsty type character. And wolfsbane has a nice sort of purple to it, which is a slightly melancholy colour. And I felt they went together quite nicely. You know, drums to me are perhaps a bit more angrier than the idea of misanthropy. But there's something about them that I feel actually go quite well together. So yeah, I sort of researched those, planned it all out, and I thought that damaged, broken instruments looked a bit clunky and not delicate enough, if that makes sense. And I thought if I could only make them invisible, which is why I had the idea to make them look glassy. It's a little more delicate, it sort of helps to portray silence a little bit more. It's something delicate and, you know, easily broken. And that is just a general idea of the thought process behind these pieces. They were quite different for me, and I really enjoyed painting them. It was a bit of a challenge, or drawing, I guess it's not really digital painting. One thing I'm hoping to do in future videos that I've never really done before is show my idea progress. So maybe show sketchbook development and talk about that. I often do a lot of word association. My sketchbooks are very messy. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope my voice doesn't sound too horrendous and monotone. That's something else I'd quite like to work on. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you again soon, I hope. Bye!